Better that than the Monster Energy drink.
Oh, yeah, that got some of the poison today. Wow.
Do you want to read the next one, the creepy?
Sure. In creepy old man news, blueprints for an underground tunnel system linking Hugh Hefner's mansion to both Warren Beatty's and Kirk Douglas's homes has been leaked. Although I'm not surprised, I am incredibly intrigued and would love to explore that tunnel very much in the way Kirk and Warren explored the tunnels of the Playboy bunnies back in the day. Insert drum roll here.
There's a reason I wanted him to read that one.
There's always been talk about these tunnel systems under these giant, extravagant.
I actually have the
homes.
pictures of it. I'm gonna post. I actually have the footage of it.
Supposedly, Epstein Island is one gigantic tunnel system.
So that bomb that went off in the ocean like a week or two ago,
Yeah.
supposedly that was them blowing up one of the underground, the tunnel systems underneath the ocean. I don't know how true it is. I'm throwing pasta against the wall to see if it's cooked. That's all I'm doing.
Listen, it's $150 billion a year industry, child trafficking.
Yeah.
It's serious. This is real life. This
Yeah.
is not a joke.
No.
And what's going on right now at the border right now, there's a reason they don't want to stop this border crisis.
Oh no, God.
Because
No.
it's open season on little kids right now coming across the border.
Did you see the infrared footage? It was two men. They took two kids. They dropped them over the wall.
Yep.
And they left. They went back to Mexico. They just left the kids there. So like I'm assuming they just went and they're going to go grab more children, go dump them over the wall, come back.
It is like a predator's buffet at the border right
But there is I read a story this morning or yesterday that a lot of the kids are suffering from severe anxiety and depression, and they're suicidal in the cages that Biden is keeping them in, when in fact they weren't supposed to be cages. Trump was the bad guy in this whole situation.
No, those were Barry cages.
Yeah.
Those were Barry and Joe cages.
Mm-hmm.
But then they were Trump cages. And he kept kids in cages. But now the kids are back in the cages. And they're like sleeping in like these tinfoil space blankets. And they piled like 40 into a cell. It's disgusting. But
What was the was
tweets.
it true that the day that AOC, Captain Horse Teeth, went down there and she faked crying? She was sitting there, like she was all hunched over in white, like she was
in
so
a
appalled.
parking lot somewhere. She wasn't even at the border.
No, she wasn't. But this is the same girl whose abuela needed something to do with her apartment or something like that. Like, honey, you're in government. You can't afford, so other people had to go take care of your family member for you.
But did you see how that shook out? She had a GoFundMe account started for her.
No.
By somebody, I forget who. But
Somebody started on her behalf?
a good amount of money, and they were ready to cut the woman a check to get her house fixed, and somebody put the kibosh on the GoFundMe account. So...
Who? So she didn't start the GoFundMe. Somebody did it on her behalf?
Yes. Actually, I believe it was a person of conservative nature. Trying to, do the right thing.
I did hear this,
And,
yes.
So they raised a bunch of money, and then they blocked her from getting it. They wouldn't let her receive it. So, not sure what happened with that money either. But
I'm looking up...
She is a result of the lowest common denominator, all voting in the same place.
How did she get to where she is right now?
Because from everything, I don't know her district personally, intimately.
She probably doesn't either.
York, but from what I understand, it's like one of those 9-to-1 liberal to conservative neighborhoods, and she's going to be in office forever.
Yes, she is. And look what a great job they're all doing.
Well, that's like Minnesota. How did Ilhan Omar get into Congress? Like, she is a straight-up terrorist.
Easy. Everybody forgot about 9/11.
Straight up.
Yes, she is.
We'll tell you about it.
And she's stealing. And she constantly brought up, but nothing's ever done about it.
Married her brother to get him a green card.
She married her brother?
Mm.
It's interesting.
Yeah, to get him in the country. Yeah.
That's legal?
No, that's it. That's the problem. No.
I tried to marry my brother. My mom freaked out, but whatever.
But when you're in Congress, you can do whatever you want. Like,
I'm in the wrong business.
oh well.
So this next one is absolutely disgusting. There are so many obscene and foul things I want to say about this, but I can't. So in what I like to call the I frigging wish segment below, Donald Trump has released a series of quotes regarding former Attorney General Bill Barr and how inept he was when his time in office, serving under the administration. I find the timing to be very curious, as rumors of his military tribunal have been leaked on several conservative platforms, including actual quotes and commentary from the panel and the defendant. I can only say that I hope the rope was thick enough to get around his neck, his grossly thick neck. Rest in peace, Billy Barr. So what I've heard, and it was weird, it was on, and this is what, let me explain about the timing. Brianna saw it, I saw it on Telegram, and then it popped up on, not Epic Times, I forget, Breitbart maybe, but anyway, there was rumors floating around that he had been arrested and that they had scheduled his tribunal for the first week of August. This happened over the course of 2.5 to 3 days. In that time, Trump was putting out messages about Barr for like two or 3 days in the same time, and then a little bit afterwards. Yeah. I just found it very peculiar.
He was tweeting about him the other day. I just can't tweet, but you get my drift.
But I find it very peculiar, the timing that he's bringing this man up and this information that his tribunal has begun. I heard the same thing about Bill Clinton, that Bill Clinton pleaded for his life. They've already taken care of Hillary. So, and again, look, this could all be complete nonsense. It very well could be. Or it could be the fact that it's actually happening and they're intentionally leaking some of this stuff out. The only thing I know for sure is that this is the strangest time in my life on this planet in politics. Yeah. It is the strangest time I've ever experienced in my life.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like 5 years ago, I didn't pay attention to any of this shit.
No,
it just didn't matter. I was watching 4 sports a year or 6 sports, whatever was on TV. I was watching it. I knew all the stats. I knew all the players. I knew all the teams. I knew everything. I was totally about it my whole life. And then you get that one moment where they just make it uncomfortable. Like uncomfortable enough to where there's guilt involved in watching that. So once you hit that point, I just bailed out altogether and had a ton of time on my hands. So I, stopped paying attention to more important things. But
I don't care about anything. Like in terms of like sports, movies, things like that. Like I am just not interested at all anymore. And I honestly feel blessed because I feel like I'm awakened. Yeah. I feel like something woke up inside of me, and I don't say woke like one of the few of the stories we're going to go over here. But yeah, I feel like folks like us, we've been picked. I know that sounds kind of weird to say, but I just find it very odd that just two guys like you and I never cared about any of this stuff. All around the same time, just like a switch just went off in our heads.
Well, it's like, I know General Flynn says it a lot. You got to pick your spot. You got to find out what you can do to help. What can I do to make this world more the way I want it? And you can sit on your thumbs and bitch and whine and cry, and that's all well and good, but that's not me. That's not what I'm trying to do, right?
No, God, no. No, I couldn't live with myself. And granted, this is just a small piece. Like what we're doing is basically just, I'm not even sure if I'm doing this for the sheep anymore. I feel like this is just, I'm trying to help because you and I we've been through this. We have the time to invest in this. Yep. So I almost feel it's my obligation at this point. So people who can't or don't have the ability to keep up the way we do, that's kind of why we changed the format. We did like this weekly breakdown for breaking news and things that comes across our plate literally 24 hours a day. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like this is
fun.
I do have fun.
This is a way to sit around every couple of days and just talk shit. I mean,
you want to drink, by the way?
Like heavily? I don't know.
No, I'm not saying that. I don't want to get you bombed and take advantage of you. Oh, we can have a discussion about that. But I'm just saying, do you want to drink while we're doing the show?
Nah, I'm good for now.
I can get Betty Crocker in here.
I don't need to say any more, F words than absolutely necessary. You know where that leads. But back to Barr. He's like original deep state. He's like OG deep state. Like he was. What did he serve? What was he under? H.W. Bush.
Okay, he's been around forever.
Was he his AG too?
He may have been, but what I find comical is when he stepped down under Trump. Like there was people had mixed emotions. Like, did he set Trump up with the sealed indictments? What did he do for that? I don't think he did anything. Yeah. I don't think I truly. I may be completely wrong, but he didn't strike me as the kind of guy. He struck me as the kind of guy that would cut and run to save his own neck. Yeah. And throw anybody under the bus, which you're seeing more and more frequently now.
Yeah, and I bet you we probably won't hear much from him either way anymore. because this seems to be the thing right now. The people come out for their grand finale and then they step aside and that's it. They're out of the scene.
It's crazy, man. I said the other day that you can go to Washington, D.C. right now. They still have the that fencing up. I don't know how far back it is now, but you literally cannot get eyes on the Capitol. You cannot. Does anyone find that strange? Like, I'm convinced they don't want you to see the Capitol because they don't want you to see that there is literally nobody there.
Did you see that they haven't paid any of these states for these National Guard units?
You serious?
Yeah, it's like $520 million outstanding debt from the federal government to these National Guard units.
That's because I don't think there's anyone really doing this. I think, first of all, you can call me crazy if you want, but if you look at Joe Biden from a couple of years ago and the Joe Biden now, that is two different people. Face is completely different. Eyes, ears, nose, like everything's different. And he didn't disappear long enough to go get that much plastic surgery done. So I'm sorry, that is not Joe Biden.
And for people who think this is too far-fetched,
go look up body doubles.
Go look up John McAfee and his doubles. He openly talks about how he had 3 or 4 of them, all people that could pass for him at any given second. It's what these rich people do. It's their insurance policy.
If you can find the videos, there's videos out there of Old Dirty Bastard and Method Man talking about their clones. And then magically, not too long after that, Old Dirty Bastard just disappeared, dropped dead. So it's not a new thing. It's a very hidden thing. Tupac, Biggie, all these people had clones. There was a rapper Brianna and I watched on YouTube about a month or so ago, and he was saying like he got out of the industry because he didn't want to take part in what you needed to do. But he's like, I've been to parties, I've been to places, people's mansions. He goes, and they have clones.
Yeah.
He's like, and what happens is because it's not. He goes, they break down. Organically, the body and the tissue starts to break down because they haven't perfected like they're only good for a certain amount of time. But this guy was very adamant about it. He's like, I could 100% be dead tomorrow for talking about this. He's
really
like,
funny. There's a Family Guy episode that goes through this. Creates a double of himself and Brian, and then eventually they just decompose.
Yes, supposedly that's what they do.
TV's given a lot of hints lately.
Look at The Simpsons. They predicted virtually everything that's happened in politics the last 10 years.
It's a little bit nuts.
I want you to read this one. I'm going to give you all the good stuff.
All right.
But do this.